First thing we're going to be looking at today is the social media content playbook you all have on the table there as well. So if you kind of open it up, we're going to be going through that for kind of the next hour, throwing out some ideas at each other, going through it, just kind of going through the information, content, and how it can apply to what all you guys are doing. If you want to open that up, start off with the table of contents in terms of what we're going to be going through today in relation to it. So we're going to start off with the algorithm and how it works, how to optimize to get the most amount of views, most amount of people coming in that are actually going to buy from you and are actually going to be engaged. Secondly, we're going to go through the creator mindset and how to have the right creator mindset to grow. Thirdly, we're going to be going through the 7 steps to viral content. Fourthly, different kinds of video styles you can make and kind of finding your video format. 5, we're going to be going through creating an emotional connection and building an emotional connection with your audience. 6, we're going to be going through the 5x5 strategy and how to reverse engineer success when it comes to personal branding. 7, personal branding foundations. 8, posting volume and a little bit of strategy work around that. 9, content planning and schedule. 10, authentic script writing. 11, how to use data to your advantage, analytics and optimization. 12 is the 5 pillars of a strong personal brand. 13, your 90-day implementation plan, so how to actually apply all of this to your life and to your personal brands. And then 14, daily and weekly action checklists as well, and then a few more bits at the end. So it's kind of a little overview of everything we're going to go through in terms of personal branding. After this, you will literally have essentially everything you need to grow to 10,000 and way more followers over the next couple of months as well, if you actually take action and use all of this information and actually apply it as well. So you can have all the information in the world, but without taking action, obviously nothing's going to change. So it's very important that you learn today, but you also action all of the information that you learn today over the next couple of months for yourselves as well. Because genuinely, like from my experience and from everyone else I've worked with, having a personal brand can literally change your entire life in so many ways. You'll never be stuck for money again if you can grow a personal brand of people who know you, like you, and trust you, because no matter what you go to sell, you're going to have people there to buy what you're selling as well. And you just have other cool things like people messaging you about the fact that you made an impact in their life. Sometimes eventually people like stopping you in the street, which is really cool as well. And just so many nice benefits from having a personal brand too. So it's a really cool thing to have. Anyone any questions to start off with?
How to show more authority. I think
Amazing.
I'm a messer really in real life, and like I think I'm hilarious. So it's trying to kind of come away from what I have been showing maybe and just to show more authority.
You can definitely do the two of those together because that's your unique kind of selling point, is your personality and the fact that you are a messer. But it's more so, I think, with that also showing most of the time authority comes from you having something that your ideal client would potentially want. And again, like we discussed on our calls as well, you have like a lot of experience when it comes to actually learning sales and how that's changed your life as well. So it's more so showcasing the embodiment of like what you have that your ideal client wants, and then that naturally builds authority, because if someone can see you as the person that like has something that they want, they're going to naturally think you're going to be the best fit to help them get there, no matter what it is. Whether it's like for Helena, it could be like more regulation. For Sophie, it could be in good shape or confident in your body, or whatever it may be for you guys too. If you actually have the thing that your ideal client wants, they're going to trust you to be able to help them get it as well. I think you can definitely combine those two things together for sure.
Yeah, it's your unfair advantage.
No matter what it is, whether it's like for Helena, it could be like more regulation. For Sophie, it could be in good shape or confident in your body, or whatever it may be for you guys too. If you actually have the thing that your ideal client wants, they're going to trust you to be able to help them get it as well. I think you can definitely combine those two things together for sure.
Yeah, it's your unfair advantage, Ashley.
Yeah, and that's what's going to make people like you more and trust you more. It's that personal touch of like you and your personality.
For me, I think it's probably like self-trust and like not having a fear of like being seen or heard showing up. So it's more of like an internal thing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Love that kind of fear of judgment, or is it kind of, yeah?
Yeah.
Care more other things, or is it more like your self-confidence, would you say?
Self-confidence, I feel. Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
More of like about me than anything.
Touch on that. Amazing. Yeah. Thank you for that. Sophie?
I think for me, when I started off, I was very much just posting coaching content and using myself. So I want to like get better at the personal branding side of things.
How to combine the two together.
Yeah, combine the two and actually separate me kind of from my business. Like I'm Sophie, but I'm a coach on the soft distance side rather than, just
I get you, yeah.
Page, you know what I mean?
100%. Like just bringing more of you, your personal life, your personality into your content as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. I think that's very, very important for everyone as well, because it's not just about, like you said as well, like what we're bringing in here, it's not just about authority, why people buy from you. It's also about like you as a person, because this is a really good analogy that I love. It's like, think of the first time you ever went through a breakup or you're asking for like relationship advice. Who's the first person that you all went to? Just shout, like, who was the first person you asked for advice from?
Okay.
Yeah. The point here is that like, who would actually be qualified to give you the best advice? Probably a therapist or a relationship coach, but we actually choose the person who we have a stronger connection with, which is a friend or a parent. So people will actually like kind of buy into you more when they feel connected to you, as opposed to authority. You see what I mean? In terms of like, not necessarily people will go to the best person, they'll go to the person they feel connected to the most for advice, which is very good. Yeah. And I learned that as well. And it's mad because like business coach wise, there's probably so many other people out there that have built huge businesses way bigger than mine. But my clients come to me because they feel a connection with me and a personal connection to me. They feel like they know me through my content and know about my life. And also the fact I have built quite a successful business myself as well. But it's also the factor that they know me and have a connection with me too. That's like important for everyone to take. But love that. So well done.
Yeah, well for me I'm starting from scratch, so I was working on my self-confidence and just building on that.
Love that. Amazing. And do you think it's like more so a fear of judgment thing, or is it like, again, like Kalina, it's more so like yourself, like kind of confidence in you?
It's a bit of both, yeah. Kind of fear of judgment and just working on self-confidence.
Really good. Lovely to touch on that. And
I definitely agree with the Elise like learning to get over the fear of judgment and
yeah.
like people that are like close to me and it's like small town vibes. Like.
Yeah. Irish core, isn't it?
Tiny village, like itself.
We'll definitely touch on that. Amazing. Yes, that's overlapped a few times. Thank you. And Tia?
For me, it's kind of like learning how to build a more personal connection with like potential fans or potential people who like my music, as well as like people within the industry as well who would like to book, you know, my band or myself, or you know, listen to my music or anything like that. So that's something where I really want to build on that, and like also be someone of kind of authority within the music scene, and something that someone will come to for advice.
Amazing.
For other musicians or recommendations, or you know, they want a certain type of band for an event or something.
A whole section of that, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
Amazing. Lovely. And Gillian?
Yeah, I think I'm like quite confident in like work and like I'm like self-confident in like my like business and work, but then there's a disconnect then with like my social media, like on Instagram and like my actual personality. Like I'm not confident enough to like show that off. So I'm kind of more of my like business self, like more like formal series.
Yeah. So bringing more of you into it. Okay, amazing. And do you think it comes back to like fear of judgment again, or is it kind of more the self-confidence piece?
Yeah, I think it's probably insecurity, yeah.
Yeah, okay, amazing. So I overlapped a couple of times, so we'll talk through that as well. So just to even touch on that, because that's a big thing that came up with everyone as well, but that fear judgment element. I think I had this myself, like if you even asked my best friend Root, who came to visit us in Dubai, she was like, you're the least person I ever expected to be like someone who come online and make content and like speaks like to people online as well. Like I've grown up, like I was never outgoing, like that confident, like never like kind of person that would show up online, because I had that, what all you guys have, that huge fear of judgment and caring what people think of me. I think the couple of points that really helped me personally was, one thing I learned is that no one that's doing better than you in life will ever judge you. If you think about judgment, it only ever comes from people who are essentially like miserable in their own lives, unfulfilled, and like wishing that they actually had the confidence to do the thing that you're doing. No one who's like has 100,000 followers or 50,000 followers would ever pass judgment of me starting my page. Like all the people I looked up to at the time, which was Sean Casey, Tara, Danielle Dargan, who are now actually some of my closest friends, which is wild. Like I looked up to them when I started, and I knew that they would never judge me. It was only ever people who were kind of on the other side of the spectrum. So that like mindset shift really helped me too. Second thing that was a huge driving force was the fact that like we all only get one life, and like even when things like this happen, like when me and Kate were in Dubai and like we actually thought we were gone there for a whole like 3 hours one of the nights, it really just puts things into perspective that you actually only do get one shot at life. And I think we forget that a lot of the time. We're like, oh, we think we're invincible and that we're going to live forever. But if the perspective of like lying on your deathbed, I know it's a bit of like a mad analogy, but like looking back in your life, thinking of what you could have done, the impact you could have made, the life you could have created for yourself, the other people that you could have helped, and like not having done any of that because you were scared of what other people thought, who are probably dead at this point because you're reaching like the last kind of days of your life. So like that perspective like always just helps me so much. I think like deep rooted regret would be worse to me than just like putting myself on the line to be judged. I feel like having that analogy to like always reference, I was like, that would be worse for me than actually just battling through the judgment now as well. And the third thing I did was, again, Kate will have a different perspective on this, which she'll talk through as well, but when I was starting on social media, I just created a new account and I blocked everyone I knew for the first like 6 months of posting content. So I was like, there's actually no one here that I actually care about that can judge me, because literally every single person.
Do you recommend that?
I have this lens that I would go through as well. If you feel like you post on your account, it's not going to hold you back and you're not like holding yourself back and you're going to just post whatever anyways, and you're willing to do that, it's way better just to keep your account, because you already have potential clients in that audience that could buy from you. So if you feel like you're not going to be held back, definitely. But if you feel like really held back and restrained and that you're not able to show up properly and be yourself, I'd recommend doing what I did, because you're way better than just having like a fresh page where you can just test and you can be yourself and you can post without any fear, because you have blocked everyone essentially that you know or you thought of that you're fearful of judgment from. then make the new account. That would be my perspective in terms of what to do on that topic as well. I think that's a couple of things that really helped me, like those kind of like lenses. And then lastly as well was picking like 3 people who have the life you want that you look up to. It could be someone in the music space for you, like a business owner for Jillian, like whatever, maybe someone in high ticket sales. And like instead of thinking about the people who are judging you, try to be concerned about the judgment of the people that you look up to. So like what I did as well, like I picked 3 people, which was my 3 people were Sean Casey, Danielle Derrigan and Tara, which some of you might know, some of you might not. But instead of caring about the people who are judging me, I asked myself every single day, what would these people who I look up to, like how would they judge my actions today? And most of the time, like if I wasn't posting content, they judge me and be like, this girl's soft, she's a snowflake, like she's not putting in the work to actually get to where she wants to go. So I like viewed it the lens of the people I wanted to be like. I was like going to take their judgment more serious than the people who I didn't want to be like. Because a lot of times, again, we take judgment off people who are just throwing their lives away, going out every single weekend and like not actually progressing in the areas that they want to progress in, rather than people who are actually further ahead of us that actually have the life we want as well. So I think that's a really good lens. It's like pick 3 people who you really look up to, who have the life you want, and ask yourself every single day, how would they judge my actions today? Like what would they think of the work I'm putting in, like the things I'm actually doing in my life right now? And then again, you're going to actually be in those circles. Like that's how it works. Soon enough, then like that's what I did myself 3 years ago. And now literally all those people I've been in contact with, and I'm really good friends with Tara, really good friends with Daniel Derrigan, had my podcast. And like 3 years ago, I could have never imagined that would even be possible for me as well. So that's kind of what happens when you start viewing things through that lens as well. Amazing. So we're going to start off with how the algorithm works. So like on Instagram, on social media, on TikTok, whatever it may be, essentially the algorithm is a AI kind of tool that dictates how much views and how much reach that your video gets. And it's all based on watch time, because for all these social media platforms like Instagram, like TikTok, they get paid through people spending time on the app. So if someone clicks on your video and they just scroll off that straight away, and everyone goes and does that, then your video is not going to get pushed to any more people, because Instagram will deem the video as being uninteresting. So every single time we create a video, we need to optimize for watch time. So how do we keep people on this video for as long as possible? And the longer we can keep people on our video, the more and more it gets pushed, the more views it gets, and the more viral then it will become. So essentially that is like the component parts of a viral video. It's like more people who stay on your video for the longest possible time is how far it will get pushed and how much reach it will essentially get. So how do we do that? There's 3 ways we can do that. So 80% of a video success is down to the first 3 seconds. So if you can't capture someone's attention in the first 3 seconds, video dead. Not going to go anywhere. Probably going to get about 200 views, maximum 1,000. So how do we capture people's attention in the first 3 seconds? There's 3 ways that we can do that. There's a visual hook, so that's like what you're doing in the first 3 seconds. A verbal hook, which is what you were saying. And then a static hook, which is like what you have written on the screen of your video as well. So you'll see a lot of viral videos. They could be doing something like, they could be like, they have food maybe and they're making like a recipe. Maybe they're like outside walking and that's what they're doing. Or else like they could be at the beach, or they could be in a pool, or there's something that they're doing a lot of the time. What they're saying is kind of grabbing your attention, like it's making you interested in what's to come. It's kind of opening that loop in your brain. And sometimes then they have a static text written on the screen, which is some text that really captures your attention as well. So there are kind of the 3 ways which we can hook people into our videos in those first 3 seconds. So moving on to the right creator mindset. The success formula for social media, everyone can just like underline that as well. So decent quality plus high volume plus time equals success being inevitable. If you use all the strategy, there's no way you won't be successful if you can like just aim to get better with every single video you post, stay consistent and post volume, just give it time. And that is success on social media. Like that is all you need, as well as the strategy we go through today. So essential mindset shifts when it comes to social media. Viral growth is planned and not lucky. So I see a lot of people just thinking that posting every day is a strategy, but it's absolutely not. Like you can post every day and you can post in shite every day. Your account won't grow for years on end. So you need to obviously post every day, but also have a little bit of a plan behind the intention behind what you're posting. And that's a really crucial lens to look at creating content through. Like ask yourself with every single post, what am I hoping this post is going to do for the person who's viewing this post? Is it going to make them like me more? Is it going to make them trust me more? Is it going to let them know me more? Whatever it may be, just try to have a little bit of intention behind the content you're creating. Stay data-driven, not emotional. So sometimes people can attach a lot of emotions to the views they're getting. And if they're getting low views on end, then they just throw in the towel. And that's why a lot of people fail at the start. They're just not willing to stick in the shit long enough to actually see success. So what I did when I started off, I'm very logical. So I used to go back, right, through all the people I looked up to. And I would scroll and I'd count how many videos they had to post in order to get one viral video. And the average was around 120 videos. So I had that in my head. I was like, okay, if all these successful creators posted 120 videos getting mid views before they got a viral one, that must be like similar to what it would be for me. And it actually was in the end as well. So stay data driven. Focus on 100 strong reps before you expect any return. Mr. Beast, this comes from Mr. Beast actually. So a lot of people, again, they expect in 20, 30 videos they're going to see success, but that's not the way social media works. Give yourself at least 100 videos of just being shit. Like, you're going to be shit at everything before you get good at it. So give yourself just 100 videos of just throwing spaghetti at a wall, like being shit, just like getting used to talking on camera, getting used to posting, getting used to putting yourself out there. And then after 100 videos, I guarantee you're going to be very, very good at creating content. And then the last point is cross-post on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook Reels as well for the best results, because all the algorithms are a little bit different. TikTok and Instagram and Facebook Reels, they all perform differently. You create the videos, you've done the hard part. So you might as well optimize it to get the most amount of views. You get one video that does really bad on Instagram and blows up on TikTok, or else one that does really bad on TikTok and blows up on Instagram. So you might as well just cross-post on all the platforms you can just to give yourself the best chance again at getting the maximum return. So on to the next page is about your creator vision. This is kind of what Tia, you mentioned as well. This is how you can bring yourself and your personality into your content. So essentially after we go through this, we're going to do a little bit of an exercise together as well. We're going to have 30 pieces of content when you go home and do this as well, about you, your personality, your life experiences, like basically anything just to build a stronger, deeper connection with your audience. So the creator vision is 10 painful things that have made you into who you are today, 10 life lessons you've learned, and 10 life experiences that you've just had in your life that's contributed to you being the person you are today. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have a little chat, basically. We're going to start off with 10 painful things that made you into who you are today. So essentially, like, you can learn so much. I'll just give you some examples of mine, like 10 painful things I've been through. Dropping out of college and my dad taking that really badly, like that was really hard at the time before obviously I started seeing success with social media. I would say in school growing up, feeling like the odd one out, feeling really lonely, feeling like no one got me because I had big goals when everyone else just wanted to go out drinking. That was quite painful. Working in a bar, that was a really painful experience for me because I just felt so out of alignment, and like I just was like, what is my life? I was drinking in the evenings and like I just didn't want to be in that position. I wanted to be running my own business and I wasn't, so I felt a lot of dissonance there. So like that's just some examples of my life. So again, we're just going to go around the room. We're just going to share 2 things each that like have happened in your life this far that have kind of made you and shaped you into the person you are today, that other people can learn from and that you can use to build a personal connection with your audience, essentially. All right, go on, Kate. Yeah, give them an example.
Yeah, so I just think as well, guys, like just before I go into this, right? You're not obligated. I'm an open book, and that's why if I go on a date, I say that I don't have Instagram. Because if they go onto my Instagram, they know what I eat for breakfast, they know what time I go to the toilet in the morning, they'll know everything. But that's just who I am. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and that's who I am as a person. And I like being that way as a person because I think it makes other people feel like I'm more relatable to other people, right? But what I want to say to you all is you are not obligated to share anything you don't feel comfortable with sharing. But what I will say is humans relate to human beings. And no one is perfect. And actually, the biggest reason why people sign up to me, and we did like research on this, was because they could relate to me. It wasn't because of anything else, right? About being imperfect as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
So just before I go into it, you can share things that are painful without going into it. Do you know what I mean? You can state things about yourself without going into it. And honestly, you've no idea the people that will stand by and won't engage in your content, but you've no idea the impact you're actually having on them by doing that, right? So I would say the 10 I just wanted to say that before.
Yeah, that's a really good point, Kate.
But the 10 painful things I would say that I went through. Growing up, I feel like I just had a kind of hard enough upbringing in regards to school. I felt like I was always the odd one out. I was always too much. I kept trying to dim my light to fit in for other people and to make other people feel more comfortable. And yeah, I just grew up thinking I was too much by teachers, by friends, and I just found that really difficult. I would say going through an eating disorder was a really, really difficult time in my life. I struggled with depression for a long time in college and with an eating disorder, and that was a painful thing that I went through. And then last year, funnily enough, after building 2 6-figure businesses, last January, everything went to shit. And, you know, it's easy to say that, like, you know, it's easy to be like, oh, like nothing bad happened, you know, because I'm a business consultant, how can I go through that? But that's just real life. Like, that is real life. And I went through a really, really difficult time. I went through a breakup, and It was very embarrassing. It was very public, and it was really embarrassing. And I went through. My business just went to shit, and a lot went on at home as well. I lost my granddad, and just a few more stuff went on personally at home. And like being able to share that makes me feel better as a person because it makes me feel more relatable. So when people come in then and they're like, oh, like you're doing amazing, this. Yes, absolutely 100% duality can exist, but it's so important to show that we're all human as well. So I would say they're 10 painful things that made me into who I am.
Really good, Kate. And I love the point at the start as well. That's it. Like you're not obliged to share everything, but like the more vulnerable you can be, you never know the impact that can actually have on someone else who's been through something similar as well. And like by sharing your story, like you're allowing other people to actually get so much comfort and reassurance in the fact that they're not alone as well. For example, like one of my good friends, Tara, had a miscarriage and she decided to share that on social media because when she was going through that, she looked at so many videos that helped her so much through that like couple of weeks where she was just in the absolute pits with it. So she was like, I want to be that for someone else. So therefore I am going to be vulnerable and I'm going to share this part of my life.
Like you don't have to say like I wouldn't have had to say that I went through an eating disorder and depression. I struggled with my mental health growth.
Yeah. You don't have to be like, yeah, exactly. You share as much in it as you want.
I think it is just being relatable, isn't it?
100%. Alana.
I would say like probably with friends, like I struggled to like that was probably something I went through was like finding my kind of people and probably still working on trying to find it.
Yeah.
That's kind of the only thing that's been to my head at the minute.
Oh, that's really good. I love that. Yeah. Amazing. And Tia.
I suppose maybe like trying to make myself fit into places that I don't fit, and like maybe a few years ago, like through kind of relationships and stuff like that just don't suit, and kind of being really happy about something and really passionate about something, and that light kind of getting dimmed.
Yeah.
It's slowly getting chipped away at you, I suppose, and then finally only kind of come back to yourself like after like 1 or 2 years, you know.
Love that.
So that's kind of I suppose that's
Yeah, I love that. And Gillian?
I'd say a big one would be like when I moved back from college and I was going to get really into sports because I love sports, but I tore my ACL like straight away, and like that like hit me to like a rock bottom, and I was like, oh my god, like I didn't know what to do. But I feel like I had to hit that rock bottom to make like big changes. So I like moved to Dublin and I lived with my friends and like all of these things, and then through the journey of like my injury, I've like fallen in love with the gym and I've done so many things that are like I feel like I live a very healthy lifestyle now, which is like a really good thing. It's been like really positive. So I actually think it was one of the best things that happened to me.
I love that.
Like, really bad. And then another thing, I guess in college I kind of struggled because I was like, there was only one other girl in my course. I was like in a maths course and I was just like, I just studied all the time and people like didn't know why. I was like always like didn't really want to go out drinking, so I just wanted to like work. And so I think that was like hard, but I think that I'm still a very hard worker, and I think that's like maybe who I am. So
I love those. And no matter what business you're in, right, people having that context to you in your life as well, that's going to make them, even if it's marketing or AI, whatever it is, when they feel like they have that personal almost like relationship with you through you telling your story, they're going to choose. That's why they choose you over any other generalistic company in AI or marketing as well. Like it's like Kate's going to get into this in sales, but it's like even when you're going to a coffee shop, like why do you choose like the nice friendly van down the road instead of Starbucks or a big chain? Because you feel like you have a connection with the small. And like the same with you as well. That's why like they will choose you over like a huge company. It's the more you share about like your life and your story, the more they'll feel like a connection with you and like want to work with you as well, which is cool. Love those. Thanks for sharing. Amazing. Ashley.
I have 100 now, so I'm
Yeah.
I think the main one is about really losing myself when I became a parent. So I had my 2 little girls very close together, and you're obviously in the trenches when you have kids. But kind of when I came out of that a little bit, when they got a little bit older, 5, 6 kind of age, I just found myself like haven't a clue who I am, couldn't remember what I liked to do before I had them, literally just said to myself, is this it? Like, am I literally a slave for them, go to work 9 to 5, come home, be a slave, and go and do it all again? So that was a pretty big one. Actually, sounds a bit superficial.
Not at all. It's not at all. And I'm sure like there's there's so many parents that can relate to that, and like even like that's it. So important. It's even like the different perspective shift as well. It's like by you having that and building that relationship with yourself, you're really giving them like a role model to look up to, because they can see that like you have that relationship with yourself and you know yourself and you have purpose as well outside of them. Yeah. So like definitely, and
purpose,
even
that's exactly. I have no purpose.
Actually, I literally just had a conversation with a client that signed up last week that went through all of this, and now she's actually using that as her purpose. Like she's actually using that to coach people. So like by you even just sharing that alone, like the amount of people you will help just feel seen.
Feel seen 100%. And like that's again actually with like even sales as well, like when you're telling that story, you're again, that's how you build a connection with your audience as well. And that's how you're like, people just like buy into you a lot more because they can see your journey, they feel that connection, you're being a bit vulnerable with them as well. And then whatever your product is off the back of that, like it's like Molly May or Grace Beverly or all these. Grace Beverly is a very good example if you follow her. She's a huge, like, you can have a look at her as well, but she could sell like shit wrapped in tinfoil and people would buy it because she just has great personal brand and she shares so much about her life as well.
I did post it. It got about 32 views.
Yeah, but then that's when it comes back to the strategy and structure. So that's what we'll look at that as well. You compare the two together.
Human.
Yeah.
Like you're actually a human being, you're not a robot. You know?
And that's how you wrap it. So that's why we're going to go through the strategy of like, you can have the best content idea and topic, but if it's not wrapped and structured in a way that's optimized for views, it's just going to get no views basically. So that's like those two pieces together. Amazing. Do you want to share one more if you want to?
Actually, just finding my tribe is something that you know. I only really found my tribe last year. So I hate to tell you, it might take a while, but it does happen. Yeah, same thing. Like I was bullied in school and like in the later years of school, and I never really felt like I had that really close friendship with anybody. But like this time last year, I joined a business, and those girls are in my tribe now.
Love that.
And then I just have as well, just growing up, my dad worked so hard. So I would say we did struggle with money. It was definitely kept away from me that was happening. But when I look back and, think, he really had to, I don't know how he slept at night, to be honest, with everything he gave us. But that's something I wouldn't feel fair sharing.
Yeah.
Like I think that almost is a disservice to him.
Like a lens you can even paint that through is that like more so that you kind of started from nothing, like, and you built everything you have kind of yourself in a sense. You don't have to go into the context of like the fact that maybe.
And again, I didn't. He did.
Yeah, I get you.
He built it for us, but anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some way to pack.
Yeah.
Like so interesting. We have such similar stories. Like I do know what's so interesting. You're connecting with me now.
Yeah.
So if you were to sell fucking jam, I'd be buying jam off you. Do you know what I mean? Because
Oh my god! Actually,
no, but that's how I feel. Do you know what I mean though?
Yeah.
And the way I package that is like I have a very similar story, but like the way I package it could just be really helpful for you, Ashley, in regards like we were given everything when we were growing up, so we never felt that way. And like that, and I owe everything to my mum and dad, and I always say that. But the reality was they did struggle. Do you know what I mean? So
then it could be again from his perspective, like from an entrepreneur starting for nothing, and essentially I probably learned.
Yeah, more so what you were taught.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Away for years.
Exactly, and that's how you
Yeah.
100%. They're amazing. Thanks for sharing. They're really, really good. Good job. Helena.
No, I would say like a defining moment or what kind of like put me on the trajectory of my life was when I was 18, so going into 6th year, our house burned down and it started in my room. So obviously that was traumatic, and then I held a lot of guilt for that going into college. Then I just went off the walls, like I was drinking all the time, I was doing God knows what, like I was like toxic relationships, like just putting up with like awful stuff because I felt so shit about myself. And then that relationship ended like in 4th year or 5th, or when I finished college the year after. And that was the moment that I just packed everything, went to Bali, and from there like started the gym, looked after myself. Like now I'm a breathwork facilitator, so it was like coming from a place of like deep pain. It's like now all I want to do is just like regulate myself, go to the gym. Like I rarely go out, so sometimes it takes being in the pits to then
100%.
want to just be better and do better.
Similar to Gillian, it's like your rock bottom was like your defining moment that kind of changed everything around and made your trajectory like go in a completely opposite direction. I love that. Thanks for sharing. That's amazing.
Yeah, so mine definitely was more so related to just how I used to treat myself and my body. So I struggled a lot with my relationship with food and like self-acceptance and body image. So that definitely, like, I suppose I channeled that into different things. So first of all, it was like, trying to fix my body, and then I'll be happy. And then no, it's actually I still feel unfulfilled, so let's go try something else. And I pivoted and was like, oh, I'm going to take up boxing. And then I went all in on that and ended up absolutely burning myself out, losing my period, everything. So like I was just never really truly looking after myself. So that was kind of, that's probably like the root of, you know, everything.
Unreal. And the thing about social media is that like people say it's saturated or there's competition, but like it's no competition ever, because all you guys say, you have completely different stories. Like that is your unfair advantage, like Kate said. Like that's your unique selling point. It's like what made you into the person you are, because no one can copy that. No one can replicate that. There's so much sameness on social media. And me and Kate listened to a video, and this is what we live by as well. It's like, what was it again about the sameness? It was like, basically the concept was avoid sameness at all costs. Like the worst thing you can possibly be is the same as other people, because like you're just a carbon copy. Like that's like no fun and no one.
I think it's like that is the opposite of what you want to be, and I think everything in our brain structure makes sure that that's what we are, and so our brains are wired for survival, not success. So anytime you're leaning into doing something scared or being visible on social media or actually being vulnerable and sharing your story, you are going to have that younger version of yourself, which even having you guys here today, like, don't do it, this is going to happen. And it's going to be so unbearably loud. And honestly, it's like Leila Ramosi always says this, fear is a mile wide and an inch deep. Like, it's like, just so, when you just post the content or you post it, you're like, what the hell was I stressed about? Like, you've actually, it's just that old version of you that's trying to keep you safe. Like, it's literally been like, you can't be seen because you were bullied before. You can't be seen because you were judged for that. You can't be seen to be different because your friends aren't like that, and you're out of the tribe now. So and like, if we were out in evolution, we would die. Like, that's actually what would happen. We would die. You have a really good analogy on that with the rock, the guy in the cave, and then the one in the sun.
Oh yeah, like it was basically like back in the olden days. I'm not sure if I'm gonna butcher this or not now, but it was the one where it was like there was like 3 or 4 men like in a cage trapped. They were like chained into the cage and they couldn't see outside. And then eventually one of the guys, he was trying to escape, and eventually he got out and he got into the world. He was like, oh my god, the world's so beautiful. Holy golly, this is amazing. I must go back and tell the guys. The sun and the mountains and everything was just beautiful. And they ran back into the cage to like tell all his friends. And they were like, what's this guy on about? He's crazy. Like he's gone out the light now. He's gone. He's leaving for the birds and stuff like that as well. And that's the thing. Like when we try to do some of the right, it's like we actually kind of feel a little bit like this now. Sometimes we come back,
I feel like that a lot.
and all our friends were like, "Come on, like there's so much of the world. You can do whatever you want. You can be whatever you want." And they're like working their 9 to 5s, been like, these ones here, like what are they on about? And like that's how we kind of feel sometimes. But it's like once you get a taste of that, you can never ever go back to normal life, because you can see what's possible and you can see everything that you can do and everything that you can accomplish and everything you can be.
I think the important point is that he was safe outside.
Yeah, also that.
He stepped forward, like he was safe. He didn't die because of the sun, and it's the exact same for all of you. When you step forward into your light, you are safe there. It's just you have to prove to your old self that's keeping you, like, you're not the same as your 14-year-old self, but your brain is actually telling you that you are. And so every time that you choose not to do the thing, you are conforming. You are exactly like all of those people. And that's what makes me go 10 times the other way, because I never want to be like those people who bullied me, who made me feel small. And you are conforming every time you don't do the thing. You're exactly like those people. You're the exact same as them. And you might be like, yeah, you should feel that sameness. You know?
100%. Yeah, that's the kind of the point with this as well. That's it. This is your differentiating factor. This is supposed to make you stand out from everyone else, and there's no competition when you can lean into this and when you can actually post this, because that is going to be like what attracts people to you, makes people want to work with you and buy your services amongst all the other people that are in the world as well. So again, that's the first thing, is 10 pivotal things that made you who you are. The next thing is 10 life lessons that you've learned. So this could be like, again, like we went through as well, like I talked about the fear of judgment. Like a life lesson I learned is that it's better to be judged for who you are than hated for who you're not. Or like another example is a life lesson I've learned is that you can actually be or do anything you want in life, and there's nothing stopping you other than yourself. These are some lessons I've learned. Again, all you guys have learned lessons in your lives as well for the last couple of years or 10 years or 20 years or however long. So, and then the third point is then 10 life experiences. So that could be like a trip you've taken, an event you had, could be like maybe like wedding you were at, it could be a life experience like college, it could be a course you took, it could be literally anything.
Conversation you had. I learned the most from taxi drivers.
Absolutely anything.
World War III.
Yes.
Literally life experience, absolutely anything. Like there's so much leeway here. But we'll leave the life lessons as kind of self-explanatory, and then we're just going to do the same again for life experiences. We're all just going to do like one or two of our personal life experiences that we feel like we have shaped us in some way into who we are today. So.
Great.
This week.
Yeah, I know. Like so many life experiences. So probably just like changing career, like being a primary teacher, then pursuing coaching and changing relationships, like breakups, like in World War III. My boxing story as well.
Yeah.
Pursuing that and
Lots.
there's a lot.
Love that. And again, that's so unique to you and that's so unique to your journey, and no one can copy that. So that is your unique selling point, essentially, leaning into those stories. Amazing. Helena, would you like to share?
I would say the moment I crashed my car in a car park outside work, I had only bought like an Ollie after saving for ages, and I knew when I was getting it, I was like, this feels off, I don't know why. It was only 2 months later, I crashed the car into a pole in the back of the car park of work. The car was written off and I just took the money and went to Bali. And like when I say it was literally like the best decision ever, and I knew in that moment, I was like so much had happened up until this point, I was like, this is the last straw. I was like, I can't even get out of this car and look at the damage. It wasn't even that bad, like nowadays, like it wouldn't have been written off, only for the fact of the market at the time. It was just easier to.
Again, what a story. Like that again makes you into who you are, and again people are going to be so much more bonded to you after hearing like a story like that on your social media, and then you can go into Bali and how that changed and how that led you to breath work and everything got to do with linking it back to what you're doing. Which is really, really cool. Really cool.
I know it's all.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Like, that's something that like nobody, everyone would sort of say, oh, just get yourself a new car and keep going.
Yeah.
Cheap a car and just keep going. Like, I mean, when you like, do you know what, I'm going to take the insurance money and head up to Bali.
Yeah, I love that. Like.
Yeah. Of normal. We love it. It's the opposite of being
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I love that, Helena. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Aisling?
I'd say travel as well.
Love that.
I would never have gone anywhere by myself. I wouldn't go to the bathroom by myself. And then when I went over to Australia with, again, I went from one friend to the next friend, and I had friends lined up all along the way. But then at some point, I just decided that I want to go somewhere else, and went all by myself and met again like friends for life.
I
So
love that. And what made you go from like someone who would say like you couldn't even go to the bathroom by yourself to actually go to Australia? What was there some pivotal kind of point that changed in your brain chemistry that was like, let's just go do this?
I have absolutely, along with a lot of things in my life, I have absolutely no idea. I wake up with these notions, and I just thought,
Feels, girls.
it's sunny.
I love that.
I couldn't convince my friend to come with me, so I have no idea why I packed up and went up there. But you know what? Like one of the girls that I met there, is one of my best friends for life.
I love that. So cool. So cool. And even that in itself, the fact that it was just an ocean, that's you, and that's what you need to lean into in the story. It's amazing. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And Holly, if you want to go, a life experience that you've made you into who you are.
Definitely my bodybuilding as a whole. I wouldn't literally be here today other than that. I started doing it competitively 2 years ago, I think. I've been in the gym for a long time, but getting into the actual bodybuilding community and competing and stuff like that changed me. I was so shy. I hated how I looked, like not in terms of my body, but just like I just wasn't confident in how I looked or anything like that. And I don't know, it's not as exciting as your stories or maybe as emotional, but it just like, it just gave me so much structure.
But it's your story, and it's equally as, and like the amount of people that can help as well through like your experience with that and like what that did for you as well. It's just really, really cool, and that's what builds that connection with your audience too. So I love that. Adam, what we're doing life experiences you've had that's made you into the person you are today. Is there any that comes to mind?
Yeah, so for those who don't know me, I own a food trailer in Drogheda, and literally it's called Bit of Street Food. It's my nana's nickname. Everything came from that. Spent so much time with her when we were younger, growing up, and I used to be part of a franchise and wasn't aligned with who I am, the brand. So when I rebranded, I couldn't think of a better homage to pay than to name it after my nana. But now we literally carry that brand ethos in everything we do. So we're always like going back and like trying to support Drogheda and do X, Y, and Z through it. And it's probably the big thing that separates me.
That's so cool. And do you lean into that much in your marketing at the minute? Yeah, class. It's really, really good. And there's probably so many different angles you can take on that in terms of the why behind your business and stuff. But that's really cool.
Even like we pushed her out of that.
Yeah, cool.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
We done a video yesterday about like addressing haters and like how I'm just trying to improve the town. It's 60,000 views across Instagram and TikTok. And
Well done.
you can see a big increase in sales off the back of it. Like.
Amazing. Amazing. Really, really cool. And even like that, so like that's 1 out of 10. But even if you could think a little bit outside the box as well through the next, like obviously today as well, to see what other elements of other life experience as well that you could potentially bring more into your marketing too. It's probably even some ideas that maybe you haven't just thought of just yet that you could actually add into that as well to like, again, broaden the areas in terms of like your own life and like your own personal brand as well. Really cool. Amazing. Well done.
I think one of the things was when I was in college, I was studying data science and AI in college, and there was a lot of coding and stuff. And when I went on placement, I realized that this is not for me, and I like really struggled with that. And like I think everyone around me knew that like I really hated it, and I literally like hated myself. Then I went back into like my last year in college, and I was just kind of locked in on like a project because I'm like interested in research, and then I ended up kind of making a business model out of it. And then I like won a competition, and when I had to like present it, and like, you know, it was like a university thing, you'd like, I realized what I'm good at is like business, but like from like a tech side. So then that was like, I was gonna start, so then that kind of like I still like have like in my current job now, like I go present like our products and my systems and stuff that I work on. And like that was the first time I realized, oh, actually this is what I'm good at. I'm good at like presenting, and like I can build something and show it. Like that was one of the things I think that time in college when I was able to like prove that I'm more than just like a coder.
I love that. It's clear even how excited you are talking about it just shows like, again, it's like your thing, like, and it's really cool to see, and that will come across in your energy on your content as well. And even the element you said about presenting, that could definitely go in with your content format. If you feel like you're good at presenting, there's something you can probably link together in terms of how you're creating content, like in a way that you're like, I don't know, like some like case study or Kate's the whiteboard.
I want to do that. Like,
Get the whiteboard.
Yeah, for current business I'm in, like we have a lot of things that I feel like I'd be kind of good at if I did it on whiteboard. We don't have. I'll buy one.
Yeah, literally.
Present for me. Because like I presented like last week in Singapore to like my system, which is like a recommendation system for a factory, and like there's literally like a CEO in the room of like this $1 billion company, and like 10 directors, and there was loads of people online and everything, and like I had no problem. Like I was loving it, you know what I mean? I wasn't like...
Even, sorry, just as a hook, like I presented to $1 billion last week, like that's a video in itself, and then see what you learned or see what your experience was through that as well. Like even doing a piece of content on that specifically is just so interesting and so cool, and something that you actually experienced very recently as well. Yeah, like that is a hook.
So I feel like that kind of was like in the next step from when that happened in college, when I realised, oh, actually, this is what I'm good at. So yeah,
that's really cool. There's so much connected dots there that you can do in terms of like your content format, also like what you're passionate about, also what you learn. So there's definitely dots connected there as well. It's cool, amazing. Tia?
I think it's like maybe me finally getting one of my big goals that I'd always dreamed of since I was 16. So I was always writing like songs in my bedroom and stuff like that. And a while ago, I got to open up for an amazing artist at the Olympia, and she picked me to open up for her. And being able to perform in that venue was unbelievable, but also seeing how people connected with my work was like a massive thing for me, that people like came up to me after and said, you know, this song like was really good, I love that, or I love this about this. And I like actually seeing, like for me, like doing music is like you're there to bring an energy into a room and change the energy in the room and like give people something.
So cool.
And I really like that I'm able to create something that can help people.
So cool. And even as a hook, my brain just thinks in hooks sometimes, but at the start of the video could be like I went from playing music in my bedroom to opening for this artist here, and then something like that can just be your hook. It's like I went from playing music in my bedroom to opening for this artist in the Olympia, and then just going to tell the story after that. But that's like a really cool like transitional hook. Really, really cool.
Also something Emma taught us as well is like, this is just something really like important that Emma taught us through content, is like going into like the specific moment. Like what did your childhood bedroom, like the going into the specific moment of like that pivotal life-changing moment, like what does that like, how can we use all of our senses, like imagery, like, you know, language, like how can you use that to actually bring that specific moment to life.
Like, for example, like it was 11:15 on a Wednesday morning. I was in my pink painted childhood bedroom when like been able to like be like an example I did for testimonial was like I was in an ice bath in Mexico at 2:15 a.m. on the 11th of January when I got a message off a random guy and I was going through a testimonial. Like that was my hook because it was so specific and people can really feel like they were there with me in that moment. And I went on to say like got an application from Lorcan and then it was his testimonial after that as well. So it was a good way to like introduce it. Amazing.
Yeah, because I kind of what I'm learning here is like I struggle kind of get. I've done the stuff. I struggle getting across. To,
I think that's everyone.
100%. And that's the next part that we're going into, guys. So if you go to page 7 steps to viral content.
Self-esteem. She's an English artist. She's amazing.
It's very cool, Tia.
So cool.
Very, very cool.
She's amazing. It's just very positive stuff.
So, Aisling, you're going to take a lot from this as well in terms of now, this is how we're going to, basically the 7 steps to packaging and structuring your content to optimize it to get the most amount of views and optimize it to actually get behind the most amount of eyeballs. So, as I mentioned at the start, 80% of a video success is down to the first 3 seconds. So if you don't nail that, your video is not going to get pushed and it's not going to get that much reach. So you need to have a strong hook, which is the first 2 to 3 seconds. So checklist for a strong hook. You want to make sure it captures people's attention without being like super obvious. So it can't be like, stop right now and watch this video because people are going to smell that it's a hook a mile away and they're probably just going to scroll on and it's a bit cringy as well. So a good way to do is make it super specific. Like I was just mentioning to Tia there, like going through like a specific moment in your life or something specific to your story as well makes a really good hook. The most amount of information in the least amount of time. This is crucial and I correct my gang so much on this as well. Wordy hooks, so like a big long hooks. You don't want to make it like 10, 20 seconds or 5 seconds even. You want to just be like, if there's a way I can say this in less words, let me say it in less words because people's attention spans are absolute dog shit. Like people are just scroll, doom scrolling on their couch. And if you are like going the long way about saying something, it's going to make them scroll on and make them disengage in your piece of content. So with everything got to do with content, the most amount of value or information in the least amount of time possible is something that you always want to keep in mind. You don't want to make it too obvious, like I was saying, and you want to kind of make it unique. So like with everything we went through there over the last few minutes with a few bits as well, we were going through so it's specific stories that are all relatable to you guys. So how you can like make that your own is like take that story and no one can copy that. If you say like, this happened to me or this happened to me or 3 years ago I was here or 5 years ago I did this, that's all unique to you guys too. You want it to open a loop in someone's brain to make them want to hear more about the story or about the piece of information you're about to give them. And you also want to make sure it doesn't give the whole video away. So for example, you want to say, journaling's the best thing you can do to improve your mental health because that's the answer right there. You want to say like, this one exercise I started doing completely transformed my mental health. And then you kind of want to go into the background, like maybe for years, like I could never figure out like a way to actually understand my thoughts. I would always go around with 2,000 things in my brain. I was never able to think straight. And at the end, you say journaling is the answer. So you want to kind of like set it up to give the answer at kind of the end of the video, essentially. So a couple of hook ideas, there's a section there to give you some time to go through this in your own time as well. You can go back over and fill this out. So you can just come up with some hooks based on the stories that you guys mentioned there, using that checklist in terms of how to actually make it engaging. Step 2 is to add a visual layer. So again, it's very boring if you're just sitting down talking to the camera and that's it. Again, lots of people are doing that and it's not very interesting. So ways you can add a visual layer is through movement. If you're going for a walk outside, you're going for a walk on the beach, you're like moving around, that's cool. Props and visual aids, so like a whiteboard like we mentioned, that's a really good way to do it as well. A presentation, whatever it may be. If you're a PT, it could be like food, it could be you in the gym showcasing weights, whatever it may be too with that. Green screens is another way. You might see that there's like a green screen in the background and you can talk over a piece of information. B-roll footage is like footage of yourself that you can add into the video as well. So you could be speaking and then you could add in like a clip of B-roll, which is just like you doing something like walking or eating or whatever it may be. And the last point is setting changes as well. So you could do like 3 seconds like here is say for your food truck, if you're outside your food truck, then it could be like 3 seconds later like by the beach or 3 seconds later you're in your house or whatever it means. Like scene changes are a good way to keep people's attention with videos as well. So that's just ways you can make your videos a bit more interesting. Always add a call to action is step 3. So whether it's asking someone to save the post, comment a keyword, follow for more, DM ready for information. If you don't have a CTA in your video, which means call to action, then you're losing out on either leads or you're losing out on potential followers. The difference it makes is if you get a viral video that gets 1 million views, if somewhere within that video you say follow for more, you're probably going to get on average around 10,000 new followers for every 1 million views. If you don't, you might be lucky to get 1,000. So it's a 10x in difference in terms of the amount of followers you get. if you just say somewhere in your video, if you like this video, make sure you're following for more mindset tips, whatever it may be. If you like this video, make sure you're following for more bodybuilding tips, whatever your call to action, whatever in relation to the niche you have. Step 4, easy to read captions. So on CapCut, if you guys are not familiar with it, it's just an app that you can use to edit your videos. You can click auto captions as well, which puts captions on your video. So many people are watching their content in libraries or in cars or in places that actually can't listen to sound. So if you don't have captions on your videos, you're already losing 20 to 30% of potential viewers because they just flick on because they can't hear it and they can't actually read the captions as well. Step 5 is like choosing an audio to go in the background that's quite low, and you want to make sure it doesn't take away from what you're saying, something that kind of fits the message that you're trying to give in the video. Step 6, some subtle zooms. So as you're getting a little bit better at content, you'll learn to do like a few little zoomies to emphasize points. You can do that very easily on CapCut as well. And then step 7 is to hold attention. If there's any times that you're like taking big breaths or long pauses, you want to just use them on CapCut to split and chop out, so it just goes bam, 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 bam into each sentence, and there's no like long gaps or pauses. So that's kind of the 7 steps that you always want to follow and make sure that you're ticking off in relation to content, in relation to actually creating a good quality piece of content that's optimized to get the most amount of reach and the most amount of views. So anyone has any questions on any of that in terms of the playbook itself, how to structure the videos? Sweet. So then it goes into styles of viral videos. So you might see there's some that is like talking heads, where you're like talking to the camera with moving or props. There's also another style which is like a voiceover video, where it's like B-roll off yourself and you're voicing over that B-roll in terms of telling a story about your life, etc. Scene to scenes, which I was talking about, where you're in one place for 3 seconds, then you change location for another 3 seconds. Character plays is those videos where there's like 2 characters. You've probably seen them on Instagram. Do you know what I'm talking about with the character styles? But there's like 2 characters and they're kind of doing it, play out, talking to each other. Like one's the coach and one's the student, or like one doesn't know what they're talking about, one does know what they're talking about, and it's like kind of teaching in the form of character styles. Does everyone kind of know what I'm talking about with that? Reaction videos is where you're like reacting to someone else's video and you're giving your opinion on it. For example, like someone could say college is the best thing that you could ever do in your life, and I could take that video and react to it and say, I think college is bullshit. If you're an entrepreneur and you want to actually start your own business, I don't think it's the best way to do it. Like that's my controversial opinion, and I could take a video and react to that video and give my opinion on it as well to create like a good piece of content. And the last way is green screens as well. You could have like a green screen in the background, and then you could be talking over that and giving your opinion again on a fact or whatever it is in the background as well. That's just a couple of different styles you can pick from when it comes to choosing your content style and choosing how you want to relay the message or relay the value to your audience, essentially. So we're going to skip a few pages and we're going to go to a thing called 5x5 strategy now. So you can go through all of this in your own time, but we're just pushed a little bit for time with the content before we go into Kate's sales playbook as well. So I'm just going to go through a couple more pieces with you guys. So 5x5 strategy is a really, really, really good way to optimize for fast growth when you're starting off on social media. It's basically just reverse engineering success. So essentially every single piece of content that right now on social media has gone viral in the past, it went viral for a reason. So you can kind of reverse engineer those pieces of content and like learn why they went viral and how to use that to optimize to make your videos go viral, essentially using the templates and using the formats and like kind of robbing some bits from the hooks as well. So obviously you never want to copy anyone's piece of content. We never will do that. We never want to do that. But again, we can take elements from successful videos and apply that to our own content. So we're not just throwing spaghetti at a wall and reinventing the wheel, and we're learning from success and learning from what it's already worked for other people. So the 5x5 is you going to choose 5 creators that you look up to and you like their content that have over about 100,000 followers. You're going to ask yourself why you chose them as one of your creators. And then you're going to go through and save their 5 most viral videos. So at the end of this exercise, you're going to have 25 viral formats that you can use and like kind of learn from in terms of why they went viral and what parts of that you can apply to your own content and to your own topics. So there's a section for you to fill all of that out. And then when you have that done as well, the main elements of what you want to look for is why a video goes viral. It's down to the topic they're talking about, the hook of the video, which is the first 3 seconds, the format of the video. So whether it's a talking head, a scene to scene, a character style video, and also the cadence of the video. So say if it's someone telling their story, this is a part that lots of people miss. They'll try to do that, but they'll miss the part where it's like, if they're saying something good, you want to say something good. If they're saying something bad, you want to say something bad, because people's attention is grabbed through like an emotional roller coaster almost. So say if there's like a minute-long video and you're just going like good, bad at random times, it's not going to keep people's attention hooked for long enough. Whereas if you see a viral format and you kind of replicate that with your story, but when they're talking something good about their life, you're talking something good about your life, and they're talking about something bad, you're talking about something bad. You do the same thing in terms of the emotions and keeping people's attention hooked throughout the whole video, if that makes sense to everyone. So what you can do, say if it's a storytelling one, you can screen record the video and then you can see how you can match up their story to your story in terms of like, they could be talking about something completely different, like their fat loss journey, and you could be talking about your relationship with alcohol. But when they're talking about something like bad that happened to them in relation to like being really overweight, you're talking about a bad time in your life when you had a very bad relationship with alcohol. So you're kind of matching up the emotional cadence in terms of how the video goes emotionally to the same format of the one that went viral. Does that make sense to everyone? And the last little section is about identifying and speaking to your ideal client profile. So what you want to ask yourself when you're creating content as well is, who are you creating content for? Because if you're not clear on that, it's just going to reach nobody really. If you're posting a bit of everything and you're not really clear on like who you're actually speaking to and what impact you want to make on that person, it's never really going to have a profound impact on the world. So you want to understand, who are they? Age, gender, stage of life, career, income level, niche. Where do they spend time online? What are their dreams and goals? What are their frustrations and pain points? And what transformation do they desire the most? Fill that out. And then you kind of want to speak directly to their problems, their pain points, whatever it may be. This can work in any niche. Say, for example, Adam, like you might be wondering how that can apply to food. So like, what makes your place different to all the other places? What painful problems do people have with like other food places that you kind of can solve in terms of like your, like, is it like more the personal touch? It's more that they feel seen, they feel like friendly faces when they come to your place, like all those kind of things in terms of what they get at your shop as opposed to like other people's food trucks, essentially. And same with all you guys as well. You kind of want to speak to what is it that your dream follower or your audience wants, and how can you help them kind of achieve that or learn from you or like actually get